So I got a special double feature for review for you guys of The Wizard of Oz and Oz the Great and Powerful. Before I do that, I want to ask you guys if you had a very happy Thanksgiving. I had a very happy Thanksgiving, and I want to know if you guys did. And I also want to know what you guys are thankful for, what you appreciate most in life, and just, again, what you're most thankful for. And I'm going to tell you what I'm most thankful for, and that's for all of my subscribers. Right now, I'm currently at 75 subscribers, which, isn't the most. It's not like 100 million or a billion subscribers or whatever, but you know what? I'm happy enough just to have 75 subscribers because, when I first started this YouTube channel, I didn't even expect like one or two or just a handful of subscribers. Now I have 75 subscribers. I really appreciate that, guys, and I really, really love it, and it just makes me happy that I can entertain even, a number like that. It just makes me happy that I can entertain people just by doing something I love, which is just talking about, dumb little movies and whatever, just giving my opinions on movies, as well as doing some other, little stuff here and there. So that's what I'm thankful for. I know it's kind of, a little bit late. Thanksgiving is over and everything, but I just wanted to say it just up front. I'm just thankful for you guys. 75 subscribers, more than I expected. Thank you so much, and I just want to say I'm very thankful for that. But enough about that. Let's talk about the movies that we are going to be talking about today, which is The Wizard of Oz from 1938 and Oz the Great and Powerful from, this year, 2013. So let's start it off with the movie that started off The Wizard of Oz. Now, this movie is just plain and simply classic. I really can't describe it in any other words. It's just simply classic. I mean, when you think of the word classic films or just films in general, this is one of those films that, come to my mind. It's just an absolute classic, just all over the board, and it's also just a great movie. It's personally one of my favorite movies just of all time. Anytime I watch this movie, I always get new, just a great mood, and I get very happy and upbeat. It's just a very happy film. Overall, I just really love this movie. That's why I chose to review it for Christmas with all its, bright colors and, happy, just overall happy tone and mood this movie has. It's kind of a no-brainer why people, as well as myself, would be, watching this movie around Christmas time. But I actually see more people watching this movie around Thanksgiving time more than Christmas time. I don't know why. Like, I saw this movie almost on every single major channel on Thanksgiving. In fact, I watched this movie on Thanksgiving in preparation for this review, so, on Thanksgiving, so it's kind of weird. Like, I see more people watching it on Thanksgiving than on Christmas. I think it should be watched a little bit more around Christmas time, and should be played more around Christmas time than on, Thanksgiving, but hey, if people watch on Thanksgiving, and that's the tradition that they have, then not at all saying it's a bad thing. But back to the movie. The movie stars Judy Garland as our main character, Dorothy Gale, who gets swept up into a tornado and finds herself in the magical, mystical land of Oz. This, again, is classic because so many things from this movie have been made fun of. Well, not really made fun of, but more celebrated and quoted and spoofed and made fun of in certain ways, whether it be in TV shows and movies. And that just shows how classic it is. Like, if you're a newcomer to this movie, that's really bad for you. I'm not even going to say I'm sorry for you. That's just shame on you, plain and simple. But if you're a newcomer to this movie and this is your first time watching this movie, and you'll probably notice and point out like a lot of stuff and a lot of quotes that people have said in either, movies or TV shows or, what other medium. They're probably going to point out a lot of quotes that, many people have said and, quoted and, made fun of or whatever. That's just how classic this movie is. Just so many memorable lines, so many memorable moments and characters. It's just simply a classic movie. It's really the only way I can describe this movie. But even though it's a classic and even though it is very upbeat and, happy, the movie actually, from what a lot of people say, the movie, to some people, is actually really, really scary. And in some ways, I can kind of agree on that, but in some ways, and pretty much in the majority of the ways, I really disagree with that. This movie is kind of scary, especially to little kids, but I never found this movie to be at all scary. I mean, my mom used to always tell me that this movie was scary to her and that I would probably get scared of it. I watched it in, like, the 4th grade for the first time, and it didn't really scare me, like, at all. It's not really all that much scary. For little kids, yeah, I can see some things that are scary, like The Wicked Witch of the West, and the flying monkeys, which are really really creepy. I mean, it was 1930s. Makeup and stuff, so it does look really, really creepy in a way. But it isn't like, oh my god, really scary. I mean, it's the Wizard of Oz. How scary can you get? But to some people, I can see why characters like the Wicked Witch of the West are scary. It was to my mom. A whole hell of a lot. It actually scared my mom a lot, and even my aunt. And they're still actually scared of the Wicked Witch of the West to this day. And it's kind of funny when you think about it, but they're not really all that scary. I can respect and understand why some people do find it, kind of scary, but it's really not scary to me personally. And probably to you, it's not really all that scary either. I mean, it's a little, for little kids, probably is scary, but I can understand why other, like grown-ups and stuff can find it, somewhat genuinely scary. So it's kind of a scary movie and kind of, mostly, not even kind of, mostly a, happy, upbeat, family movie. So, kind of like Christmas Carol, so that definitely goes for Christmas time. So that's really all I have to say about the movie itself. Not really too much I have to say about it, but that's mostly because, I don't really want to give anything away for this movie, especially for people who haven't seen the movie. Just simply, if you have not seen this movie, go watch it, because if you have not seen this movie, you're doing a disservice just plain simply to yourself, nobody else, just to yourself. Go watch this movie, because it's a classic, it's funny, it's sad, it's just fun. It's just a fun, great family movie. In fact, this is probably my favorite family movie. Well, actually, no, it's not my favorite family movie, but it's right up there with, like, some of my favorite family movies of all time. And it's one of my all-time favorite films just in general. The songs are catchy. There's so many bright colors. It's funny. It can be sad. It can be scary at times. It's just the perfect, movie for kids when you think about it. It's not too scary. It's not too, silly. It's just a great, in between, great middle ground. It's just a great film overall, and that's why I'm going to be giving it a perfect score of 10 out of 10. It's just a great film overall. It's got everything that a family movie should have, like jokes, scary moments, and munchkins hanging themselves. So yeah, it's a perfect family film, especially around Christmas time, because when I think of Christmas, I think of munchkins hanging themselves. I don't believe in that, but that needs to be looked into. There's a lot of myths about this movie in general, like the, Munchkin hanging himself in the background, which I didn't believe for a while because I watched, like, the re-edited version of this movie, which was, like, they edited a bird, which was obviously a bird in the background, but then there was an uncut version, which actually did kind of show a munchkin, hanging in the background. It kind of looked like a munchkin. I both do believe in it and sort of don't believe in it. It just seems, kind of stupid when you think about it. And also there's a myth that this movie, if you play it with, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, some parts will match up to the actual song, which is really, really weird. Those are 2 myths about this movie. It's just really, really strange. But that's all I really have to say about this movie, so I guess when you're watching it, make sure to look out for hanging dead munchkins and have your Pink Floyd on standby, so again, great family movie. But now we move on to the movie's prequel, which was released this year, Oz the Great and Powerful. Why the hell was this movie made? I mean, I do, in certain ways enjoy the movie. I don't hate it, and I will, discuss certain things in the movie as the review progresses. But there wasn't really any reason for this movie to be made, and it almost kind of taints and, ruins the nostalgia and the just overall feelings that we have towards The Wizard of Oz. It's just, when you think of they're making a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, you just kind of have to ask yourself, why? The Wizard of Oz is fine enough, just as it is. It does not need to have a prequel, does not need to have a sequel. It just is that. It's just The Wizard of Oz. It does not need to have a prequel or a sequel. Like, why make it? It just kind of ruins the whole image of the first movie. And also, how can you make a prequel to a dream? Wasn't it a dream in The Wizard of Oz? It never happened. It was all just in Dorothy's head when she got knocked out from the tornado. It was all just a dream. She never went to Oz. It was just a figment of her imagination. How can you do a prequel to that? That's actually something that this movie kind of ruins. It was all a dream. But no, it really wasn't. Apparently it's an actual real place that James Franco goes to in this movie. So does that mean that in The Wizard of Oz, is Dorothy dreaming about Oz and she's not actually there and Oz is a real place, but she's not in Oz, she's just dreaming? It's confusing. So that's one thing that this movie does really ruin. But there just wasn't a reason for this movie to be made. It just was, it's why make a prequel to The Wizard of Oz? Of all the films that you can make a next installment into, why Wizard of Oz? It's fine enough the way it is. Why make it? It's just something I never really liked. And I immediately was just very hesitant when this movie was coming out. I mean, I was kind of 50-50 on it. I mean, I was very hesitant about it, and I just didn't really want this to ruin Wizard of Oz and the Wizard of Oz franchise. And I both did kind of want to see it because, hey, it was another thing to the Wizard of Oz, and there is a chance it might be good. And I like Sam Raimi as director, so that was something I was looking forward to in this movie. And James Franco was also going to be in it, and I love James Franco as an actor. I don't like him when he's doing serious roles because I can't take him seriously, but when he's doing a comedic role or whatever, which this movie did seem to have, I do look forward to him in a lot of movies. I think he's a great comedic actor. I can't take him at all seriously as a serious actor, but as a comedic actor, yeah, all the way. James Franco is just funny as a comedic actor. And that was something that I was also a little bit hesitant about. James Franco in this movie, I was looking forward to him, but I was also kind of like, why James Franco? Again, I think he works better in comedies. And, like, say, Pineapple Express or This Is the End, where he's playing, especially raunchy comedies. Now he's been in so many raunchy comedies. I can't take him at all seriously as, when he's playing, a serious role. Especially in that new movie with Jason Statham that's coming out. He's, doing, a southern accent. It's ridiculous. I can't take him all that seriously when he's playing a serious actor. When he's playing a comedic role, yeah, I could take that. That's fine. Because James Franco is genuinely a funny person. That's one of the main things I say to myself when I'm rewatching the 3 Spider-Man movies. Like, James Franco's just trying to be serious. Is just so funny. We'll go watch the movie. It's really, really funny. But I think he's a great comedic actor. But taken, as a serious actor, as in when he's trying to play a serious role, I can't. I just can't. I can't take him seriously. I think he just goes over the top and he's just chewing up all the scenery. Just really, I can't take him all that seriously as a in serious roles. So I've said the exact same thing for a minute now, so I'm going to try and talk about different things. So let's talk about other stuff. I was hesitant about James Franco being in this movie, probably because there were other actors considered for the role of Oscar Diggs or the Wizard of Oz. Like Johnny Depp and Daniel Day-Lewis, and I think even Christoph Waltz. That would have been awesome. I not all that much Johnny Depp, because I think Johnny Depp's just in everything, especially adaptations, like Alice in Wonderland he was in, and especially if it was in Alice in Wonderland and then he did this, that'd just be ridiculous, because he's in every little, new adaptation with a new, strange magical world, whatever. It's just annoying. What's he gonna be next? In Narnia? He's gonna be Aslan? Actually, no, that sounds really awesome. Make that happen. I want to see that happen. Make it happen, Disney. Or Fox, whoever owns it now. I don't know. But when compared to other actors that were considered for the role, James Franco didn't really seem all that, why, it just seems like, oh, we don't have any other actors playing him, so, hey, James Franco, play this role. But he actually does do a good job in the movie. Really, because it's a mix of both comedic and seriousness, and in that sense, James Franco does do a good job. He has a lot of funny lines in the movie, and I'm a big sucker for redemption stories, like when a character is, he's kind of a scumbag and he's done a lot of bad stuff, but then he wants to redeem himself and become a better person. I'm a big sucker for those stories. That's partly the reason why I like Avatar: The Last Airbender so much. Zuko is just one of my favorite characters, and I like seeing characters go from being assholes and being horrible people to, wanting to be, better, nicer people. I like stories like that, and I thought James Franco handled that perfectly fine, and I actually did take him seriously as the wizard. I thought, this is the guy that, grows up to be, the wizard in those movies. It's kind of, I can kind of picture that, but I kind of can't. It's very, very weird. It's just weird. Like Jane Franco, probably because he's just a big named actor. Like if they got like a lesser known actor, I could probably picture it. But you know, when you have Jane Franco as like the wizard from the Wizard of Oz, it's not really because he himself is a bad actor, which I don't think he is. It's just such a big named actor. Like again, if you had Johnny Depp as like the wizard, it'd be kind of strange to see him as the wizard and then picture him becoming the wizard in the original Wizard of Oz. It's not really because the actors, the choice of actor is just the name and the appeal of the actor. Like the actor's just too big of a name. It just seems very, very odd. Like that this actor is going to be this character later. No, it just doesn't fit. Especially for James Franco. Just very, very strange. But enough about James Franco. He did a good job, but enough about him. The movie overall is very average. It's kind of like the first Wizard of Oz, where you know it has enough sad moments, funny moments, and scary moments for very little kids, but it doesn't really hold a whole lot of the charm or you know the fun nature of the original Wizard of Oz. So the original Wizard of Oz seemed to be made because you know let's make a fun family movie. You know, yeah, it was an adaptation of the books, and it probably was being made for the fans of the books just to get a bunch of money. Probably back then. Yeah, they were doing it back then too. So don't say it was just don't say they're making movies just to make money now. They're doing it back then, way back then. But this movie, it doesn't really hold a whole lot of the charm of the original Wizard of Oz movie, but I'm not going to hold that completely against it because, again, that was kind of what I was expecting. It's a prequel to the Wizard of Oz. It's partly being made just because, oh, hey, the Wizard of Oz franchise is a big franchise. Let's, make another movie out of that and just get a whole bunch of money. I was kind of expecting it not to have that, charm and, fun nature of the original. But, it still is, fine. It's a fun family movie. Definitely, some fans of the original movie might be a little bit disappointed in certain aspects, and I'll get to those in a minute. But it still is a fine, fun family movie. I think a lot of people will enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but, I enjoyed it. It was a very average, fun movie. Especially for what I was expecting it to be, because this movie, I was expecting it just to be the next Alice in Wonderland, and the Alice in Wonderland movie from 2010, again, going back to the whole Johnny Depp thing. I was expecting this to be just a giant repeat of that. It's like, okay, we'll make a next installment to a big franchise, big Disney franchise that has a magical world and some person going into this magical world. It's released in March, it's in 3D, and it's either a prequel or sequel. This movie just had Alice in Wonderland from 2010, just written all over it, and I was just expecting it to be as disappointing, and just exactly that. I hated the one from 2010. Well, I didn't hate it, it was just very disappointing, and, like, what was it supposed to be? Was it supposed to be, like, a reboot, a remake, or sequel to the animated movie? It was really strange what the 2010 Alice in Wonderland movie was, but I'll get more into that when I review it very later. But back to Oz the Great and Powerful. I was just expecting it to be, Alice in Wonderland 2010, just as a repeat, but it actually was way better than that, and actually had a lot more heart and a lot of respect towards the original Wizard of Oz film. It's a lot of callbacks and a lot of callbacks and references to Wizard of Oz, the original Wizard of Oz movie, which is kind of expected. Like, there's a lion in it, like that, and there's scarecrows, and the Wicked Witch West is, of course, in it. You kind of have to set her up for the later, for the original Wizard of Oz. But there's, some nice little throwbacks, and that was something also the reason why I wasn't looking forward to this in a way. I hate prequels because they always do that thing where they kind of set up or have, like, little, references towards, the other movies, because it's a prequel, and they have, like, I wonder what this is going to be, which is, like, a setup and, like, it is, like, a setup for, the other movies. Like, I hate when they do that. It's just annoying. It's like, we get it. We know what's going to happen because we saw the other movies that takes place after this movie. We get it. And I just hate prequels. Also because the characters aren't going to die. That they're going to make it out fine and they're going to end up where the other movies are going to have them be. I hate prequels for that reason, just altogether. Unless you have, like, this movie where it's not like, oh, let's have Dorothy in a prequel to The Wizard of Oz. It's, oh, let's have these other characters that you've never seen before in a prequel to The Wizard of Oz. So, I like that. If you're doing a prequel like that, it's totally fine. But if you're having it be a prequel with all the same characters from the other movies, then there's no suspense whatsoever because you know that the character's going to, make it out fine. Like X-Men Origins Wolverine. Wolverine and a bunch of the other X-Men characters are in it. You know they're going to make it out fine. So, there's almost no point in seeing it because you know these characters aren't going to die and there's no suspense whatsoever. So, I like that about this movie. It took a bunch of different characters, which I believe were from the books. They weren't made up. Some characters maybe were, but they weren't, they're from the books, so that's fine. And the characters that we'd never seen before, and they did a prequel about them, and you did have some suspense. And you wanted these characters to make it all right, and not die, and they complete their mission. So that was good. I like when prequels do that. Now we get to probably the most controversial thing about this movie, which is The Wicked Witch of the West. And it's a big spoiler alert. If you have not seen this movie, turn off this video right now and go watch the movie. But The Wicked Witch of the West is played by Mila Kunis in the movie. Mila Kunis, the actress. Not to be confused with Mila Kunis, the farm. Don't know why I said that. That was really dumb. But Mila Kunis is an actress that I think she's a great actress. She's hot, and she is a good actress that actually exists in Hollywood, believe it or not. Actresses that are both attractive and can act. That's new. I've never seen that before. Megan Fox learn how to act, and maybe you'll be considered one of these. She was, for what she was given and, the role, she was good. She was good in this movie, but the problem isn't really with her performance. It's just the character that she was chosen to play. And, of course, that'd be the Wicked Witch of the West. And this movie is pretty much an origin story of the Wicked Witch of the West and seeing where this character, her inception and, how the Wicked Witch of the West came to be. Because in the original Wizard of Oz movie, she was just kind of there and she was kind of the big bad guy. And for some reason, she was right in front of Dorothy, like, on several different occasions and yet didn't kill her. Yeah, that's something I didn't like about the original movie. And she actually kind of does that in this movie. She will be right in front of the wizard on so many different occasions and yet not kill them, not kill him or anybody else. I hate these Wizard of Oz movies, partly for that, I really do. But Mila Kunis in this movie, she didn't do a bad job because she was doing a bad performance. She was trying her heart out with this role. It's just like, why Mila Kunis to play the Wicked Witch of the West? It's almost the same thing with why get, James Franco to play the Wizard of Oz. It's just like, it's not because they're bad actors, it's because that does not fit the role at all. They don't fit that role at all. Just plain and simple. I mean, maybe they can. Maybe that's the reason why they, hire them, because they can surprise us with, Mila Kunis can't play the Wicked Witch of the West, and then we see it and we go, oh my god, yeah, she did. She did play the Wicked Witch of the West. That's why they chose her. That makes sense. That doesn't happen with this movie. It really is just Mila Kunis playing the Wicked Witch of the West, or Jackie from That 70s Show playing the Wicked Witch of the West. I think a way that they could have done it and, had Mila Kunis play the Theodora character and still have that character transform the Wicked Witch of the West, and get a completely different actress to play the Wicked Witch of the West. And one of the things that really pisses me off about her being chosen for the role is that Rachel Weisz is in this movie, and she plays another one of the Wicked Witches, the Wicked Witch of the East, I believe. And she would have been way better of a role, way better of a choice for the Wicked Witch of the West. I mean, throughout the whole movie, she's wearing green, and that's why I, and probably everybody else that went to see this movie, suspected that, oh, she's going to be the Wicked Witch of the West. When she's not. It's Megan, why do I keep on, it's Mila Kunis, not Megan Kunis, Mila Kunis. Sorry about that. She didn't do a horrible role because she was just not trying. She was trying her heart out, and I will commend her for that. She definitely was trying her heart out. I've yet to see Mila Kunis in a role where it was just her fault. She has yet to do a bad role in any movie or cartoon or TV show or whatever. Um, it's just because, like, why cast Mila Kunis as the Wicked Witch of the West? You just really can't see it, and just, like, a very odd casting decision. Just really doesn't make sense. And something that kind of ruins the Wicked Witch of the West, because the Wicked Witch of the West, again, was a very scary character to some people, and it frightened them. And some people find this character scary and still find this character scary to this day. And the thing that kind of ruins it here is that the Wicked Witch of the West isn't really scary. She's still hot. Like, it's Mila Kunis playing the Wicked Witch of the West, so she's still absolutely hot. In fact, she might be even hotter when she's not in the green makeup. I don't know how they achieved that, but they made her look hot. Like, they gave Mila Kunis a wart and a big chin, and yet she still was drop dead hot. Like, how does that happen? It kind of ruins it a little bit. Like, Mila Kunis' hotness ruined the Wicked Witch of the West. That's weird. Mila Kunis' hotness ruined something. That's how hot that woman is. That's an achievement, okay? I'm not taking anything away from this movie for that. That's an achievement. Mila Kunis was so hot she ruined something. That's ridiculous. But it does kind of ruin the first film a little bit. And something that I really don't like all that much is when they give a backstory to a character that really didn't need a backstory. I mean, yeah, sure, she wasn't a really developed... The Wicked Witch of the West wasn't a developed character at all in the original Wizard of Oz film. She was just there just to be the bad guy and had no motivation. Only, she just was doing a bunch of bad stuff because she could. But that's... It's kind of confusing for me personally. I mean, is it good that they're developing these characters, or is it bad because, they're developing a character that we all known and loved for just being this? Like, look at something like Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th franchise. I can understand why people hate the remake from 2009, because well, wait, hold on. Like, when they give, like, a character like that a backstory and a reason for what he's doing, it kind of ruins it, because the character is just there just to get the ball rolling, and he's just there just to, cut people up and, just kill people. That's the only reason why that character's there. So when you take a character like that and you develop him, you give him, like, a backstory, like, oh, he was, like, a troubled, kid, he had a bad family, or, I'm more talking about the Halloween franchise with the new Halloween movies, not really the Friday 13th franchise, but, like, oh, he's a troubled kid, he has a bad family, and he gets picked on at school or whatever. It kind of ruins it, because the character's just there not to, make you feel bad for the character. They're there because they're the villains, and you gotta make them, you have to have the villains hate. You want to hate the villains. You don't want to, feel bad for them. That's what this movie kind of does. It makes you kind of feel bad for the Wicked Witch of the West when that's not what you want to do. You want to, hate the villain. That's the reason why we love the Wicked Witch of the West in the original, is because we want to hate her. We love to hate her. When you do it here, it's like, oh, you kind of give her a, backstory. She's, she thought this one guy loved her, but he didn't, so she becomes Wicked Witch of the West. It's like, I don't want to feel bad for the Wicked Witch of the West. I want to hate the Wicked Witch of the West. Make her despicable. Make her, mean and ugly like she was in the original. That's the reason why we love that character. When you make her, you gotta make her a sympathetic character, and you gotta develop the character and give her a little, a bunch of sympathetic, backstory. No, she's the villain. You can't do that. Like, with some stuff, it works. Like, when you make the villain sympathetic and almost that you can side with the villain, like, say, John Harrison in Star Trek Into Darkness. Like, that's fine if you want to make that villain sympathetic, but this is like a classic character like the Wicked Witch of the West, who is known for being bad. When you take a classic, household name character like that, and you have to give her a sympathetic backstory, it ruins the classic look and feel of that character. It just ruins it a little bit. So it's not because, it's not bad that they're developing a character, because developing a character is good. That's what movies should do, And sadly, what movies these days fail to do, developing the characters and making you love them, or feel sorry for them, or hate them, or agree with them. It's not bad that they did that. It's just bad that they did it to a character like the Wicked Witch of the West, a character that didn't need development and didn't need, progression. This character is here just to be bad, not to, oh, you gotta feel sad for her. No. So it's not bad because they developed the character, it's just bad because they developed the Wicked Witch of the West. She was not there to be developed. She was there to be evil, be the villain. So, that's something I personally didn't like in this movie, and I didn't like the casting decision of Mila Kunis. She herself didn't do a bad job. It's just like, why was she chosen? Seems very, very off and just kind of weird. I think there could have been other actresses who would have fit perfectly for the role, like Rachel Weisz. But the movie itself is, still fine, regardless of that, flaw in the film. I still enjoy the movie. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. There's some problems in it. The CGI is just, it's good CGI. The CGI looks very, very nice. It's just, too much of it. I know it's Oz, a made-up land. You kind of have to have CGI, but, kind of cut back down on it. The original Wizard of Oz film didn't need CGI to make it good. Why does this movie need to do it? So that was, a little bit, not that great. That's really all I have to say about this movie. There was also one thing in the movie that, again, goes back to the whole good mixture of, happy scenes and sad scenes, which was with this little character called the China Girl, or just China Girl, I believe, who lives in, you guessed it, Chinatown. Get it? That's not funny at all. That was a horrible joke in the movie. Don't blame me, blame the movie. And her scenes were just so precious and just so adorable and sad. You can't help but get teary-eyed. It's just so... I don't want to give away what some of the scenes, but they're just so goddamn cute and sad and precious that it's just... this was a great character. I love this little character. And then after a whole big sad scene happens with this character, she's like getting excited because she's going to go and kill a witch. This character was just a great character. One of the best parts of this movie. Probably the best part of the movie. And that's the actress Joey King. Very young actress Joey King playing this character who has done a shit ton of movies this year. And also last year. She was the young Talia al Ghul in The Dark Knight Rises. So that's a plus. She was also in White House Down this year. And this movie and probably a couple other movies this year. She's just doing a shit ton of movies. I see her in, more movies every single year, and she's a great actress, rightfully so, though she's in so many great movies, because she's just a great actress, especially given she's, 14 years old, which is usually a horrible age for most actors, kid actors, or teenage actors, usually horrible. She's great, so she gets an honorable mention, in my opinion. She's a great actress, and I cannot wait to see her in more films, future films. Can't wait to see what she's going to be in. She's a great actress, so, honorable mention right here on my channel. And she just added to so many precious and cute, and sad scenes this movie. She's a great actress, plain and simple. One of the best young actresses working today. So that's really all I have to say about both The Wizard of Oz and Oz Great and Powerful. I love The Wizard of Oz. I like Oz Great and Powerful. I want to like it a little bit more, but, it's not all that great. It's fine. It's a fine, simple, movie. It's great for kids, families probably enjoy it, but then again, you'll enjoy and you'll tolerate Oz Great and Powerful, but you'll love and just come to appreciate The Wizard of Oz. So really, when it comes towards both these movies, I'd say, watch Oz Great and Powerful, but you gotta watch The Wizard of Oz, the original Wizard of Oz from 1938. You can watch Oz Great and Powerful if you want, but you gotta watch The Wizard of Oz. It's the movie that's always been there for every single generation. Just a great film. And Oz Great and Powerful is, a good film. It's good. It's not nowhere near horrible, but, it's a good film. Very good film. Definitely check it out. But Wizard of Oz, love it, watch it, do whatever with it. It's a great film. That's all I really have to say about that, and I will see you guys next week with another Christmas-related review. I'm not going to reveal it because it's a movie that a lot of people really like, so I want it to be a big surprise. Kind of like Christmas present. So, see you guys then. That's all I have to say about that, and yeah, that's about it. Bye.